Hello and welcome to Watching Movies Late at Night, where tonight we're going to be reviewing another pinnacle of cinematic history. This time, it's going to be called Sorority House Massacre.
Directed by Carol Frank, known mostly for directing, this movie, Sorority House Massacre follows a psychopath escaping from an insane asylum to kill off his sister, finishing off his entire family after his previous murder spree years prior.
Wait a minute, that premise sounds familiar. Sounds a whole lot like
Halloween.
Well, yeah, it basically is Halloween if you replace any real distinguishing qualities of Halloween with that of generic 80s slasher tropes. Groupies, boobies, and... fuck, what bloodies?
fuck. Anyways, this movie is related to the similarly named Slumber Party Massacre, where the poster is actually known for the fact that the drill represents a dick. And to divert for a second, let's actually talk about how misleading the poster to Sorority House Massacre is.
Who will survive the final exam? First off, the movie is set in spring break or some shit, and second, that's a totally other slasher film. And third, that actress isn't even in this movie anyways. So much for the filmmakers not even knowing their own movie.
Now, to get back on track, the director of this movie actually did work on Slumber Party Massacre, so I guess they just really wanted to try their own hand at making a slasher film. Now, without further ado, this is Sorority House Massacre.
The film begins with its opening credits just being a long establishing shot of the sorority house, which is then followed by a quick shot of this guy sleeping. Wow, wearing shoes on top of the blanket while sleeping? Yeah, this guy's the killer of the movie. This is then followed by the location scout team's footage of the house, added in for some reason. And then we see our main character, Beth, enter the sorority home where we meet...
Hi.
Oh, come on, we get it! This was a good location to film in the movie. That's why it's being used in it right now.
Anyways, Beth meets the rest of her housemates and settles in. Meanwhile, the killer's having nightmares, probably because one of his guards is literally John Lennon's assassin.
I could break these cuffs.
And now I guess I'm watching Goosebumps.
Oh man, nobody told me the sorority was on Elm Street.
Yeah, that definitely explains the weird hazing process. They really had us tied up.
Anyways, it was rude for Beth here to be very late to the dinner party. Everybody's already done with their food.
Creepy dolls aside, honestly, how is anyone supposed to eat if the ceiling is having its time of the month? That's why it keeps fucking banging in between my takes. Fuck this.
In the following morning, Beth wakes up and finds that everybody's busy in the house.
See, I told you guys this was during spring break, which is why nobody is going to class.
Well, I've got 9 o'clock. Great, we can all walk together.
Oh. Fuck it.
Beth goes back inside, as she forgot a textbook, but then encounters...
the killer from Sleepaway Camp?
What happened? I saw this horrible guy.
That's transphobic.
After that little fiasco, Beth and the gang then walk to class, where we can clearly see it's that time of the year where the leaves begin to look like boom microphones accidentally getting in the shot. We then look at the average day in college in the 80s, like reading magazines during a presentation, and shit like this. If only Beth looked out into the hallway, then she would have seen this.
God, this is like if Halloween and A Nightmare on Elm Street all lost their subtlety before their own sequels would.
Look at me!
Later that day, Beth comes home to find that everybody's leaving for the weekend, as the filmmakers couldn't even pay the extras enough.
And for the extras that wanted to stay, yeah, yeah, they fucking stayed alright.
What is it?
No, movie, you did it wrong. You forgot to add the jump scare sound effect so I know when to be scared.
What is it?
Okay, now I'm scared.
Although most of the sorority is gone for the weekend, Beth and her friends stay, and this begins a montage where they get to do whatever they want because they're all alone.
God, do you know what I've always wanted to do? I mean, like if time stopped for everyone except me.
That's a jab.
So yes, this group of college chicks are finally alone together to do whatever they want, so you know what that means.
I'm gonna eat some ice cream. Hey guys, I checked my fridge. I forgot I have no ice cream. So that's the end of this bit.
Jesus Christ, I'm having as much fun as Beth over here. So what's going on with the killer? What's going on with these Wind Waker music cues over here? So the killer then escapes from his mental institution by literally just running and jumping over the fucking fence. How is nobody even noticing this?
What the hell is this? All he had to do was jump the fucking fence? Really? That's how it is? That's how easy it is to escape from a mental institute? I had to plan out my escape for many months. Fuck you, asshole!
While that's going on, we're finally at the peak of a girl's party, the psychoanalyzation.
What does a guy with a knife mean?
Look, the guy probably represents the opposite sex.
I mean, guys are the opposite sex, so I guess you are the psych major here?
I would appreciate it if you people would stop trampling all over my major.
After that, the girl's boyfriends come over and now they do all the fun things couples do, like setting up a teepee in the backyard.
What fucking holiday are they celebrating?
And at this point, about like 5 weeks later, the mental institution finally catches on that the killer has escaped.
And he's still missing?
If you ask me, he's not missing. He's gone.
I hope you realize those words mean the same thing. That doesn't concern our main characters, however, because John over here tells a ghost story that's all too familiar with Beth.
You okay?
It's horrible.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, come on, Beth. This is a horror movie after all.
Go on, John. I like being spooked.
There's a joke in there that I'm not gonna do, so moving on to the next segment.
And one by one, room by room, he murdered his entire family.
John's got it all wrong, okay? First off, he only killed his sister, and then he was gonna kill the rest. Wait. Wrong killer.
Look, it happens to be true.
Nice try, John, but I've heard that about every house on the row.
So that's why there's all those directional horror movies. Beth leaves to go to sleep early, but only to be scared by John.
Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking scared!
Scared not due to John jump scaring Beth, but due to his cheating nature. Right after he kisses Beth, he gets it on with one of the other girl's boyfriends? That's fucked up. Not here, Andy. Someone might see us. Beth, of course, can't fall asleep, mainly because somebody is trying to stab her through the top bunk.
Thank God she didn't call top bunk that time.
Beth, do you always have nightmares like this? Because one thing about being in a sorority is, you know, other people have to sleep.
Okay, but if there's a serial killer trying to get you in your dreams, don't expect any one of us to help.
So Beth and the rest of the gang go downstairs to discuss her dreams. She describes a knife being hid in the fireplace and, wouldn't you know it, there was actually a knife in there.
And if they let Beth continue, she would have told him that there's a William Shatner mask up in the attic. Nice handling there, Andy. Glad I didn't cut open someone's fucking cranium.
Alright guys, time to watch Slumber Party Massacre on TV. Hope this doesn't happen to us tonight. And almost immediately afterwards, Andy over here then encounters the killer.
And that's the second time Andy gets penetrated in one night. Save some of the action for the rest of us, man.
Beth's friends then attempt doing hypnosis on her to try and analyze her dreams further, but they find that it works a little too well.
1, 2, 3. That's your awake. I don't remember anything. Nothing. I remember lime jello.
Yeah, I don't think Beth is the disturbed one here.
Craig over here then gets his girlfriend to come with him into the TP, since the guy probably had a tent pitched the entire night anyways. It all gets interrupted by this asshole, however.
Dude, there's a flap on the other side to enter.
Craig runs away naked a la Bateman, but when he's inside, he has boxers on? 0 out of 10 movie. If you're gonna have a naked guy, stick with it all the way. Craig and the girls then attempt to try and call the police, but they find that the killer, like what he did with Andy, cut apart the phone lines.
Stopped.
He cut it.
But let us not worry, for it's time for after-movie snuggles!
Beth then has a weird-ass fucking dream of a photo leaking blood. Cool, but this ultimately leads to John dying.
And that's the second time in one night that John gets penetrated. Save some of the action for the rest of us, man. Wait, no.
So Beth runs away and they all hide in the room, trying to find a way out.
That should keep him out.
What if it doesn't?
Negative thoughts aren't going to save us here, Beth. Apparently, however, they do have a fire ladder, and Craig manages to make it all the way down until...
Craig, hold it still.
Little hard to do that. But there's a knife in your back.
But hey, at least the killer was nice enough to hold it for Sarah to get down safely.
Never mind, the asshole was impatient and didn't want to wait his turn.
And you know what they do with assholes like him, lightly pound on his fingers.
You know, in horror movies, there's always a time where the main characters manage to get back at the killer.
Nancy denounces Freddy's existence, Jenny dresses up like Jason's mom, Laurie explodes Michael to pieces, and now Beth and her friends just keep slapping this guy's knuckles.
What a trip.
The girls, believing the killer is dead, then try to escape before he fucking lunges through the window.
I guess track and field class really does pay off in the end.
The girls again try to escape, but after one of them dies, the remaining two head to the basement.
We're dead. No. That's why he's here, you know, to kill us. But why?
Because this guy's in the Thorn cult with his best friend Michael.
Unfortunately, the killer catches up with them, and despite their best efforts, they can't seem to stop him.
Jesus fucking Christ! Is that shovel made out of foam or something? This guy cannot be able to withstand all of those hits.
Huh, so this is why everybody else wears a mask.
Get the hole!
Sarah's already dead though!
Just like Tracy over here, you guys really need to learn how to make sure he's dead before he might get up and try to kill you again. Like seriously, oh fuck!
Son of a bitch!
Okay, he's totally dead now. Or at least, his voice is.
So the police come by and Beth is in the hospital, and after one last stupid ass jump scare, the film wraps up.
And that was Sorority House Massacre.
The movie had a limited release theatrically and ended up being released to home video soon after. It was followed by a sequel, and both were eventually released to DVD, but this one got a special remaster on Blu-ray not too long ago.
And perhaps it was because of this limited run was the reason why this film didn't really make a huge impact. But then again, this movie is just a whole bunch of slasher films all mixed into one big pile of... ugh.
It didn't help also that this was during the peak of slasher films being pumped out into the world at a record pace.
And so that's pretty much why this film just feels like a regular old run-of-the-mill slasher movie. There's really not much else to say. So yeah, we've been watching movies late at night to see you guys at dawn.